Alright, here we are. We're away to get into our finals right now, and it's going to be a match between Manchester Penguins versus the London Imperial, which are called Swag Vicious. Scoundrel, are you with me?
I am with you. I'm lagging a little bit, my friend, but I'm sure I'll make it with a bit of enthusiasm through this last game. I'm really looking forward to it. I love the play from the Lee Sin in that last game from the Swag Vicious. Really good. So you can see why he's challenging tier 3v3, because it does mean that he's obviously very practiced on Lee Sin, which is actually one of the better champions in 3v3. I think we're going to be looking to get into picks and bans fairly soon. Um, what are you thinking is going to happen here? Considering how Swagbush played last game, do you think they're going to see a Lee Sin ban or even a Vayne ban?
I I actually think they're going to ban Gragas, to be quite honest. Gragas may not have seen the highlight on the stream last game, but I actually think that the Gragas will be a ban because of how strong everything was. So much siege and team fight potential. It was just into the Gragas, so we're going to be probably seeing that. Some target bans possibly on Lokizi for maybe Riven, because as you can see by his profile and whatnot, Riven's his most played by so far. So I'm thinking those two bans are going to come out. Ban wise, Scoundrel, who do you think are going to be banned out on the Manchester Penguins?
Who do you think they're going to ban against Imperial? You mean, or the other way around?
Imperial going to ban against the Penguins.
I haven't seen the Penguins play, but they play a lot of Kennen in the mid lane, as well as a bit of Oriana. So Kennen could be a ban. It's a pretty decent champion to pick up. Draven is fairly popular on their AD, and he has won his games in style, as you would expect from a Draven. So Draven could come out there, but he has also played the Vayne. So both teams are practiced with Vayne at the moment, and it looks like we're about to go into Champ Select, guys, or at least we hope.
Alright, okay,
And
we're ready to get in right now, so time to get a bit of hype.
hype, 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 hype. Here we go, guys. It's the final of the top 16 bracket. The winner gets the first seed into our top Super 8. Loser gets the second seed. But all four teams that got to the semi-finals have already qualified. So that means that Cardiff and MMGU have already qualified to the Super 8, and they don't need to take any practice, any further part in this tournament, because they're already in our awesome league for the rest of the year. Namiban coming out right now. Interesting one. Did you expect that?
No, I really didn't expect a Nami ban, especially because Nami's not really been much of a contested pick or a ban for many people, but they seem to be respecting it as a ban.
Yeah, maybe the support is comfortable on Nami. They're trying to put him outside of his comfort zone. He has a pretty decent bot lane. If you can land those bubbles and get something really good poke off using your E, which gives you the auto attack, increased magic damage, and the slow, she's pretty decent. And the Draven ban, like I said, they don't want that AD getting Draven, and they could be looking to take away the Vayne unless it gets banned by Manchester. But Manchester going for the Riven and Lee Sin, looking to take out this top lane. What do you think is going to be seeing in the last bins? Make your predictions right now.
Uh, if I can make any predictions for the picks and bans, I think Jax will be picked up, and they're probably going to have something like Aatrox is open, so they might actually do an Aatrox top lane. Uh, Ban wise, I think they should ban Vayne out just to get her out of the way.
And Nidalee being banned out against Manchester. Maybe they're just not wanting to see that in their team comp. They haven't played it recently this far in the tournament, but maybe it has been banned against them every single game. Uh, Probably a respect ban to the mid laner or even the top laner. And Castin just being banned out, so Vayne is still up. Jarvan being the prioritised pick for Flag Vicious, though. We will switch the names on the top of the. Oh, Best Vicious telling me he has actually played it. Sorry, guys, didn't see your game. But maybe it is a bit of a respect ban, or maybe it was very potent in the top lane, because I think it wasn't played in the mid lane. But yeah, so possible Teemo, which I doubt. I think this is just a bit of a Donger or a Teemo trolling out here, but Jarvan being prioritised here. So we're just getting the names sorted out for you. They need to be switched around. So Swagvish is on the
Got
left.
it.
Yeah, Manpen. Yeah, got it. Got it. Oriana being picked up in the mid lane, that's something that he has played a couple of games this tournament already, so he was pretty decent with it. Timo now being locked in on, sorry, hovered over on the other side. Everyone loves a bit of a Timo troll. Doesn't like Volibear is now being locked over. Interesting, because I don't usually tend to see Volibears in the jungle. Now it's a Fiddlesticks. I think he's just cycling through, showing us his pool. He's got a lot of junglers. He wants to let us know. And a Kale, and a Vi. And a Vi has been locked in.
Well,
Good synergy with the Vi Assault and Battery on the Oriana Command Shockwave there.
yeah, definitely. It's one thing that you want to have. Oriana getting picked up there is possibly actually taking away from the mid laner of Swag Vicious, because when you have a Jarvan, one of the greatest things you can have is an Oriana. Cataclysm and Shockwave combo is extremely deadly, but when you have that Oriana pick, that opens up Ahri, you've got Fizz, possible Aatrox, Lysandra is now open, and so is Gragas. The mid lane is completely hands free for anyone to have, and it seems to be hovering the Gragas.
Gragas is an interesting pickup because his ult doesn't particularly synergize well with Jarvan's, unless Gragas is the engager looking to separate and isolate someone for the other Gragas can Cataclysm. Bane has been locked in for the Manchester team. He has been played already. He has only played Vayne and Draven, and he's been given up to an Ali Vayne lane maybe. This is an interesting one. Ali works very well with Oriana also, so if he can land those headbutt pole combos, we're looking to like a crazy sort of Season 2-esque team, but no, going to be hovering over the Zyra, maybe not too confident on his Ali abilities. And then back to the Annie. Everyone who knows me knows that I love my Annie support. I will tell you it's the best support in the game. I'm a bit of a Tabe fan, but it does look like Zyra is being locked in instead. And the last two picks are going to be coming out for Swag Vicious. Their top lane is yet to be picked, as is their AD carry. I would expect a Caitlyn or an Ezreal to be picked up here, and Ezreal has been hovered over. Works well with the Sona. The poke is pretty decent in that bot lane. You can have the shot and the power chord combos, actually doing a good amount of chunking. Now with the top lane, what do they want in that top lane? This is one of their key lanes, to be honest, because that Lee Sin did some serious work. Even though he got wailed on a little bit early, he really came back into the game. He did a great job of peeling, etc. So it'll be good to see what he does pick up now that Lee Sin and Riven has been banned out.
Well, what they want to do is they want to pick someone who's either going to be a team fight threat or going to be someone who's a solo threat. They might go for, let's say, a Malphite so that they can get that full-on engage onto Vayne. Or they might go for the Jax, as I said. Someone's going to pick up Jax in this game, and we're actually going to get an Aatrox.
You did call that before. You did call that before champion selection and got into the bans phase. So well played. Aatrox is a good.
The calls.
The calls, yeah. Aatrox. Jax does very well against Aatrox, considering Aatrox is, on the most part, an auto-attack based champion, and Jax does well against those type of champions because he can outlast trades with his counter-strike, being up for 2 seconds and dodging all auto-attacks. This will be an interesting top lane. I hope the matchup is going to be fairly even. I don't want to see too much of a stomp, but both of them scale pretty well. You're a big Jax fan. How do you think he's going to have to play against an Aatrox?
Aatrox versus Jax is an extremely weird lane. When you think about it, Aatrox is in a way it shouldn't beat Jax due to Jax being an anti-auto attack champion. Although Aatrox has a lot of base damage because of his W, being able to apply the bonus damage on every third hit. We're not going to have a Jax actually.
Interestingly, they pick up a Janna. Is this going to be a split push Janna, top lane AP Janna like Zekent does? He's quite famous in America for running this teleport Janna strat, where he will just clear waves with his tornado and just put intense pressure on towers, because the Janna shield actually gives you a fairly decent amount of AD for pushing towers. This is really interesting for an amateur team to pull off, and I'm really excited to see it.
I haven't really got any words about this other than this is very strange. I know that Janna does have her Monsoon, so she can disengage any team fight, which then negates Jarvan and Aatrox and Gragas and so on, stopping them from getting into the team fight and having a proper 5v5 team fight. So I can't really see them having a strong team fight, but split push wise and getting to late game will be very easy for for the Manchester Penguins, but the Jana pickup is really strange, and I can't really say that it's going to work out in their favour unless somehow they manage to make it work.
Yeah, I'm not overly sure about the way it fits into this team. However, it is brilliant protection for the Vayne. You've got to remember that. Jana AP provides an intense shield, a really good slow with a good amount of damage, a great tornado, and a monsoon that will heal for almost Vayne's full HP if she gets a fairly fed amount there. I'll be really interested to see how this plays out because Jana as a protection for Vayne is a great shout.
Yeah, it is very good in the ways of they do have a lot of protect. They do have Zyra, which is always going to be great for disengages. They have Jana with the shield, with the monsoon and the howling gale. Zephyr is going to have a lot of peel for Vayne. But if you look at the way that Swagvish's team is, they have 3 threats at least on their team. Aatrox is going to have damage. It's going to be tanky. Gragas can 100% to 0 Vayne if she's in the wrong place at the wrong time. And Ezreal's going to be doing his thing. He's going to be racking up consistent DPS. If Vayne gets shut down in bot lane, the game's going to be extremely difficult for Manchester Penguins to come back from.
Yeah, Jana can also pull out a good 2v1 lane if she needs to. And you've got to remember that could be the case in this game that we see, because Jana's got the wave clear potential. She's got her shield, which will be good with the amount of AP she has. She has a slow, and she'll have monsoon. If they choose to, which they could do, Jana has a good 2v1. And I think she has a better 2v1 than the Aatrox. Aatrox has got a good engage, but he's a squishy champion. He suffers from poke pretty hard because he is a melee-based champion. Even though he has the heal, he doesn't get that much back early levels. And if Vayne and Zyra can exploit that, that'll be a good plan. But it does mean they lose Dragon Control.
Looking at a 2v1, the Vayne does benefit in this lane as a 2v1 because it means that she's not going to get bullied by Ezreal and Sona that early. So if they do manage to 2v1 and do get the tower down early, when they do switch back around, putting Vayne up against Ezreal and they're both either on even or Vayne's even higher up on EXP and gold, it'd be a very favourable position for Vayne to be in. So, but the other problem is that Aatrox versus Jana, Jana's got TP, so combat spell wise, she's down on that. So Aatrox is going to have a lot of potential to kill Jana if she plays wrongly in the top lane.
Yeah, and I think the favourable matchup here is, like you said, to Manchester's the lane swap. I just think they'll have a better time along in the game. But Aatrox has the ability to burst down the Vayne pretty early on. When he gets to like level 4, level 5, where he's leveled up that E to an extent where he gets a good slow and a good amount of damage off, Vayne's going to have to be really careful, especially when he hits his ultimate level. However, I think if Manchester are playing this properly, they'll be looking to lane swap back into 2v2 by the time they take that first turret, and preferably before Aatrox hits that level 6 mark. I am also hoping that this Jana turns out to be as interesting as I want it to, because I think that AP Jana is such an interesting character to play because she's really weak earlier on, but very strong later on. She has really intense, really good AP scaling ratios on all of her abilities, and if she gets cooldown reduction, she can actually spam them pretty easily. I'm just really looking forward to this. I don't know about you.
It's just the Jana pick is going to be extremely odd. I'm looking forward to seeing how Jana is going to influence team fights, influence split pushing, just to see what their strategy is. I'm quite surprised about it, but it's maybe a strategy.
I mean, Jax would have been a good pick, but they have Vayne, and the fact that Vayne does so much damage in the late game that Jana, if they get to it, is actually probably going to be a better protection for Vayne than Jax would have been. And if you can protect that Vayne to the extent where she actually doesn't get burst that hard, because if you think about Jana's shield, she'll probably be shielding for 500 to 700 damage towards that late game stage. It's like almost Gragas' entire ultimate. And that'll be really good for the main lane. It does look like they're all heading towards that top lane area. There is a ward going to be coming down on the Manchester side on their blue, and I think Vi is looking to start on her red, but I think maybe they're going for a top lane tri-brush invade. But
when you're looking at it, and blue side is moving straight up there. Are they going to go around the Wraith area? Or are they going to actually go around the Tri-Brush? They do seem to be going up to the Tri-Brush, although Janna and Orianna are there, so we're going to have to see how they're going to do this.
Looks like our Aatrox jumped straight in there. He was predicting that someone was going to be there, but Janna was there with the Tornado already leveled up. That was a really ballsy play. They kind of already suspected that they were there, which was incredibly present. They had a good presence of mind to think that that could have been the case, because there were no wards on the map for the Swagvicious team right there. The Imperial team had no wards on the map, and they were just predicting that someone may have been there, or it could have just been covering their own backs.
Yeah, very, very good prediction as to where they were going to go. Looking at Imperial's team, they do have a very aggressive level 1, especially when you have Aatrox. Aatrox doesn't get punished by taking his knock up first, whereas in the jungle, if Aatrox were to take his jump first, then he would be put behind because he doesn't have the jungle speed, the sustain, or the damage to take down the first buff. So it was a very, very good anticipation from Manchester, and they managed to secure their own buffs.
However, Manchester has got, Imperial have no wards on their blue buff, and the Manchester team do look like they're going to go in straight invade. There is a lane swap coming out here, like we predicted. Vayne is going to be going up against the Aatrox, and now possibly getting free farm. The blue buff is going straight over to the Vi. She doesn't need to smite it. She's probably going to head straight over to her red buff, take that away, and this is going to put the Jarvan behind. And actually, he won't be able to gank level 2 top to a great extent. He won't be able to get the same sort of slow damage on the Aatrox that you would have wanted. It does look like Aatrox has just juked out the Zyra grasping roots. He's just going to head back towards his tunnel, towards his turret. He's just going to ward up just to make sure nothing crazy's going on. He's actually probably going to go check his blue buff. I think he knows something has happened and he's just going to clear out the minions. Jarvan, however, with support of Sona, is going to take that blue buff away from Vice. They had predicted that something had happened. It's probably the way that the area that Vayne and Zyra came into lane. I think Aatrox did know that something had happened, and Aatrox is just going to clear out the wolves and let Zyra and Vayne actually just freeze the lane out.
He's actually having a hard time with the wolves right now. This is because, as I said, he did take his jump first, so taking these wolves out is actually doing quite a lot of damage to him, whereas if he did have his W or his E first, he would be able to clear him a lot quicker. So they did slow him down, but he does hit level 2, and this is going to make it very, very easy for him to stay in the lane and not get dived early game. As we used to see a lot of time with Korean, they would push, what they would do is they would last hit the wave, create a big massive build up of the wave, then they would push it to the tower and then they would dive. But because he went into the jungle and got these creeps, it means that he's not going to be susceptible to a 3-man tower dive and die.
It does look like Orianna was forced to use her flash straight away. Jarvan actually missed his EQ. Now Orianna has no flash against the Gragas. The wave is pretty pushed out for her, and I think she's just going to back out and try and avoid any damage from the Jarvan. Jarvan is actually in her side of the jungle. She's really careful that he doesn't come back and then try and force her out of lane again because she doesn't have a flash. However, he is reacting to it. She is too far pushed up in the lane. Can Jarvan get a knock up on her? Yes, he can. I don't know if Gragas is in a position to try and take her down. He just manages to get away. She's probably going to have to back now, though.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of damage on Orianna, and right then, when the minions are actually pushing against Gragas, and you're being forced away, you're going to start to lose a lot of creeps, because Gragas is going to just sit and farm that up. You're going to see quite a bit of CS disadvantage against Orianna, so she's going to have a bit of a hard time when she comes back into lane, because she's going to be at least a level down.
Yeah, we will change the lines for you guys at the bot lane. I know you don't like it on the display when they aren't matched up. Space will do that for you now. Does look like Vayne was taken pretty low under turret. I think she may have taken a couple of turret hits from the Aatrox, and he managed to dive onto her. He's still got his passive up, remember, but he is pretty low. He's trying to farm out with his E, but all of his abilities do cost a percentage of his health, so he's really careful right now. Jarvan is coming into this top lane. There are flashes available. He is ready to strike. His red buff has just disappeared. Though Vayne goes into the wrong position. She gets completely just decimated by the Aatrox. She has used the barrier. I think she may go down here, but Jarvan is pretty low. So is the Vayne. Can she get the attack move on? No, she can't. But Vi's going to come in and clean up here.
Right there, that was just Aatrox not respecting Zyra's plants. The amount of damage Zyra's plants do without any AP early game is quite big. And right there, that just wasn't the respect that she should have given the plants right there.
Yeah, you've got to remember that even if Zyra has no AP, her plants do a good amount of damage early on in the game, and Aatrox just didn't respect that when he went in, because she managed to get a good amount of plants out onto the field and did a lot of damage to the Aatrox. And first blood going over to the Zyra, 2 assists going over onto the Vayne. Vayne is currently at 28 yes though, and the Ezreal 44.
Yeah, well, as I said, with this kind of lane, Vayne does benefit from a 2v1, although it seems that Janna is actually worse off right now because she hasn't managed to get any kind of assist or kill. So Aatrox is up on gold, although losing that death has made him very, very vulnerable now. He doesn't have a passive, so it's going to be very easy for Vayne to push that wave up, get the tower, and then reset the wave and reset the lanes so that she can rotate bot lane and play a 2v2 lane versus Ezreal and Sona. And it's going to be a very, very even wave then at that time.
Sorry guys, got a bit of a sore throat here.
I think we all do now.
Yeah, Janna is actually not doing too well in the CSing. She's using her tornado to try and farm, but isn't actually managed to get the last hits under turret very well. It's going to be harder for Janna because she isn't an AD based champion to get these last hits. Looks like Vi is in a position to try and do a bit of damage. Aatrox doesn't have his pass up now and has taken quite a bit of damage from the Vayne. Zyra doing a good job of landing those grasping roots. But right now, Vayne is a little bit behind, and she needs to be really careful that she doesn't fall too far behind this Ezreal, because this lane swap, although it gets you ahead, it also puts the enemy AD carry ahead too. It does look like there is a back coming in from bot lane right now. Janna is going to get these couple of minions farmed up. Currently sitting on 2 Doran's rings, she's got a bit of AP, has now picked up to 26 minions, but is currently just ahead of the Aatrox. And Vayne is actually catching up to the Ezreal pretty well. I think that fight just managed to put her a little bit behind, and during that time, Ezreal did get a couple of minions over him. But look at the tower damage right now for Aatrox. It is on a very low amount of HP, and once that 8-minute mark comes up, Vayne will be doing the maximum damage that she would have been doing before the patch 3.10. Does it look like Aatrox wants to get a bit of damage off here? Vi is going to come in for the gank. Wild growth comes down and Vayne picks up the kill. Really nice turret dive by the Vi.
I was really actually quite silly of Aatrox to jump back in onto Vayne, because if he had just jumped away from there, possibly could have survived, and also he wouldn't have gave the kill to the most needy person on the team, which is the AD carry right there.
Yeah, and Vayne with a kill now has that advantage over the Ezreal, so she's doing a good job right now. She's doing exactly what she needed to do, and she's got the bit of the advantage, but it looks like the blue buff is going to be taken away, and I think the closing catch just takes off the end of the Zyra. A sort of battery comes out, and Vayne manages to pick up the kill. Actually, no, the passive from the Zyra, and Vayne manages to get a good condemn onto the Jarvan. Jarvan is going to have to eke over the wall, but it looks like Aatrox is coming in, and he hasn't got his passive, but has got his ultimate, and that's a dead Vi. Is Vayne going to be able to do anything about this Jarvan? No, and that's a kill going over to Aatrox, and a kill going over to Jarvan. Well played, to be honest, from both sides, but eventually Imperial just getting the upper hand because they went a little bit too deep.
Yeah, that was just Imperial were in their side of the jungle right there, and when Vi is trying to take a buff from them, and they managed to catch him out, like that's a very, very bad position to be in. Vayne managed to pick up some assists, and Aatrox managed to get a kill. Therefore, Aatrox is going to be a little bit easier to get back into top lane. They're actually not going to rotate, they're putting Vayne back top lane, and Zyra and Janna are bot lane right now, so they might force Vayne into the solo lane to farm up versus Aatrox. But
that's not the most favourable matchup for Vayne though. With the hard engage that Aatrox has and the knockup, Vayne is going to have a tough time getting away, considering that she doesn't do very well against slows and hard CC. So Vayne by herself, she needs to be really careful that Aatrox doesn't try to capitalise on this. But there is a dragon going over to Manchester Penguins. So right now, the global gold currently just sitting 1k in favour of Manchester.
yeah, definitely. And when looking at the lanes right now, Gragas is actually almost got his Athenes, and so is Orianna. They both really favour that. Right now, we have possibly an engaged top lane right now.
Looks like Janna went up to try and help the Aatrox. No one knows that Jarvan's there. He has just revealed himself with the standard just to force the flash off the Aatrox. Good really a good trade right there. The Vayne cooldown on her ultimate has been nerfed recently to be a longer cooldown at level 1, but it's not devastating. It's currently at 100 seconds, where the flash on Aatrox, he's going to have to be waiting, well, 300 seconds right then. So that's basically a 3-for-1 trade right there in terms of cooldowns on the summoner spells to the ultimate. Orianna taken really low. Has to be careful because Gragas, both his cast has just been used, but he does have Body Slam, Flash, and Ignite up. So it's going to have to be really careful. Orianna
right
does.
does
Yeah, Orianna has got a shock. She has got a shockwave, and Vi's got her assault and battery. I think they were looking for a combo right there.
The thing is, when you're a mid laner and you're playing against a Gragas and you're that low, sometimes it's best not to bait such a fight. Even if the assault and battery does go down, Orianna's still half health. And they didn't know where anyone in the team was. If they were walking up mid lane, like let's say for Jarvan for example, Jarvan could have came in right behind Gragas, and that would have been a 2-for-0 trade. Gragas was full health, so
looks
very,
like
very risky.
Zyra is getting caught out by the Gragas. He has. Oh, Orianna used her ultimate on herself. She tried to get it onto the Vi, but just went out of range. That was just a little bit of a misplay, and actually, no one actually getting killed there, so it's not the worst thing in the world. However, not the best for Orianna.
That was a very odd thing. It didn't seem like she used her command protect first to then go on to Vi. It didn't seem like the aggro range went out. It was like she ulted before she protected. So that's just a bit
Doesn't
of
look
a
like
shame.
Janna is now 1v1ing this Aatrox in top lane. And Aatrox has just managed to out-sustain the damage that Janna can provide. Janna doesn't have the best cooldowns at the early game stages, so unfortunately will not be doing the most damage that she can to this Aatrox. And Aatrox should just be able to sustain with his W passive with Bloodthirst and Blood Price. What has she been leveling up first? I'm just going to check, guys. She has been leveling a Tornado. After taking that second level in Zephyr, she's now choosing to level a Tornado. That's what most AP Jannas do. They like to get the extreme wave clear that it offers. And look, she is completely decimating waves with just one Tornado.
Yeah. When this comes to the whole Janna being a split push type of champion, and she will be very, very useful for Vayne late game. Rigging down bot lane, that was a lot of damage put down onto Vi by Ezreal, and taking her away from the dragon area.
Yeah, really well played by those guys right there. And Orianna just getting battered about in the mid lane a bit. I think she's going to start farming the wraiths up. Doesn't want to get too far and too close to the Gragas. Gragas does have that hard engage that Orianna probably can't deal with. She does have distance to slow him down, but you can't slow down the body slam, unfortunately. And obviously she gets slowed when she is body slam. And actually the body slam percentage slow is slightly higher than the slow percentage from the distance. So looking like they're all going to group up for this mid lane turret. People do put a lot of pressure on this mid lane turret because it opens up so much of the jungle to get these crazy ganks off and gets the deep warding able to get in there. Looks like Vayne is backing, not going to head down to that mid lane turret to try and help it out. But Zyra and Orianna should be enough to just clear the minion waves and keep it healthy. But that was about 2/3 of the health taken down in one sitting. If they manage to clear that wave again and go, I fear what's going to happen. Looks like Aatrox is going really hard into Janna. Janna uses Monsoon, but Ignite comes out. Janna does use a Tornado just to get away. Has she got enough health to survive? Yes, she has, but Aatrox is very low too.
It was a very odd dive from Aatrox right there, trying to force such an objective like that, just trying to kill Janna and push that turret. Now he's very, very susceptible getting hit, and now he's been stopped. Condemn goes down and stuns him. Passive's down. Aatrox might die
Aatrox
right here.
should die to the Vayne right here. I don't think he's going to be able to take her out. Actually, the Vi just picking up the kill, not the worst thing in the world. Vayne has got 1 kill already and 110 CS. Ezreal, however, has got 130 and has nearly finished that Infinity Change. But look, there's an engage in mid lane. Orianna getting onto the Gragas. She managed to get the shockwave just past her, hitting both the Ezreal and the Sona. Looks like Vayne has come in the back line. Is she going to be able to finish off the Ezreal? No, she tumbles straight into the crescendo. And it does look like they managed to kill doesn't like they managed to kill the Gragas. It does look like the Cataclysm came out. Double kill coming out for the Zyra with her passive. Oh, sorry, no, with her.
With her Deadly Bloom.
Yeah, really well played for the Zyra there. Looks like they're just going to take the mid-lane tower for their troubles. And actually, this is exactly what Manchester Penguins wanted. They just wanted to push down this mid lane. And they've got another 10 seconds or so for anyone who gets to stop them. So Aatrox does not have his passive. If they can catch him out, which they have, I think he's going to go down. He actually chooses to go in with his jump again. He's really, really going hard. I don't know if that was the right choice, and that's an execution just to rub salt in the wounds.
Right there is just they seem to be working this team comp and working Janna as a champion right now. She's actually picked up Majais right now, so she's looking to try and snowball the advantage and get these objectives, get these kills, and just push as 5. They seem to be very strong right now when they're grouped as 5.
Yeah, hopefully they won't be exploiting the selling and rebuying of the
You can't
Majai
do
Soul
that.
Stealer.
They disabled the e-reader button.
Oh,
The
they disabled the undo button, so she is just going to be going for the straight up Majai. I was going to say, I am completely against any
Red team's
exploitation
turret
in this
has been
game.
destroyed.
Yeah, looks like she is confident that she won't die and will be able to pick up the assists and stack that Majai's. Very ballsy pickup though, but I appreciate someone who has a good set of balls, and I said that really awfully, but that's what I mean. So really well played to the Janna. I really hope she managed to stack that to 20. And looks like Dragon is coming back up now, and I think Manchester are going to be gearing up for it. I think Space is laughing to himself too quietly, so he's not actually going to talk.
Right, okay, we're back. I'm alive.
We're back.
Right,
Yeah, that's alright.
that joke was awful.
I completely meant it. Anyway, looks like Vayne is going to go up and 1v1 the Aatrox. If you saw how red my face was right now, you could probably be laughing a little bit more. Looks like Vayne's going to use her ultimate onto the Aatrox. She's really high damage output right now. Aatrox had no passive and she managed to get the kill. And the Dragon goes over to the Manchester team. Janna is really low right now. She needs to be really careful that she doesn't get her Majai stack stolen away. While Bloom comes down, knocks everyone up, the Sona ultimate coming down onto the Vi. She has to back out, uses the assault on battery to try and get out. Orianna coming out, shockwaves onto the Dragons, doesn't do enough damage to finish him off. Jarvan re-engages, Ezreal ultimate comes across, that's going to be a kill. Over to the Jarvan, probably should have gone over to the Ezreal.
It was a very decent team fight right at the start there, but Orianna, after using the shockwave, got greedy and decided to go in for more DPS. After she used Dissonance, Shockwave, and Command Attack, she was stuck at the point where she had no cooldowns, but she still went in for her auto attacks on her passive, and that's when she gets caught by the Demacian Standard right there and dies eventually because she just doesn't have anything to follow up on. So a bit of greed there coming from Orianna there. She probably should have backed out when she had the chance.
Yeah, so, but all in all, it's an 8k gold advantage going over to Manchester right now, so not the worst trade in the world, and Vayne managed to pick up the kill on the Aatrox at the top lane. She's now got her Blade the Ruin King, finished that at Zeal. Her attack speed is pretty high right now. She's going to be quite scary coming into this mid-game. But Ezreal, he has picked up his Trinity Force, and is now picking up the red buff and looking towards building, I'm thinking his Last Whisper. Vayne is by herself right now. She needs to be really careful. Sona has been caught up by a ward. Is Vayne going to try and do anything here? I think she's going to be able to get a stun at the Ezreal. No, just managed to use content afterwards. Vayne is really going ham right now. And Sona's going to get caught. I think it's going to be a double kill going over to Vayne. Is she going to be able to get away with it? Yes, her passive Night Hunter just managed to chase away, and a great grasping roots from the Zyro to pick up the kill. Are they going to dive onto this Jarvan? Yes, they probably will. Vayne actually tanking the turret right now. Probably not what she was aiming to do. Uses her Blade of the Ring King. Is she going to get the Silver Bolt to fuck off? Yes, she will. I think this Jarvan's going to go down. The exhaust has come down. Gragas now probably coming in to try something out. Uses the explosive barrel call, but Vayne manages to tumble out of the way. Really well played from Manchester, just pushing the advantage they already have.
Yeah, this is where the fruition of having a Vayne is really coming into its own. Having a Blade of the Ruin King and a Zeal, she's really managing to push objectives with her team and become a threat in team fights, as well as being a 1v1 duelist. So this is really exciting to see the Orianna, the Vayne, and
Explosive cast comes on, assault on battery onto the Ezreal. Vi gets taken down, but a great shockwave coming out to the Gragas. I don't know if he's going to die because of a brilliant crescendo from the Sona, but I think Vayne is too far ahead to be able to stop now. Orianna picks up the kill. Is she going to be able to take out the Sona? No, she won't. Aatrox's passive has just come back up, and they managed to pick up the Vayne and the Orianna. That's 2 kills going over. Now Janna is here to try and help out the Zyro. No one's going to get slowed by the Aatrox, and they're just going to back out.
yeah, that was more of the get greedy and then get overextended and die. Right there, Vayne should have just walked away from that. She should have known that Aatrox wasn't on the map at that point. When Aatrox comes and kills Vayne, the entire team is like crap. Now
Yeah, right now I
DPS.
can't quite see 6 stacks on Majai's for the Janna right now. That actually makes the entire item worth. Once you've bought 6, it makes it worth money. Worth the money that you paid for it. So now Janna's sitting pretty happy, and if she can stack that even further, she'll get that 20% increased So she'll get that 20% cooldown reduction at 20 stacks. She has just picked up a needlessly large rod, so she's going straight for that rebrands rush, I think. And she's going to be really strong in the split push. She has also got teleport. I haven't seen her use her teleport aggressively so far. Vi's in this top lane. Aatrox has got the double buffs. Don't know if he's going to go in. I think he was expecting Janna to turn up. Vayne is now coming up towards this top lane. Actually turning around now, going back down towards supporting the Orianna in the mid lane. Right now, the most impressive person on the team for me is the Vayne. Orianna has been landing some okay shockwaves, but they haven't been out of this world. But what about you? Who do you think's been playing out of their skin?
I really do think that Janna has shown us that she wasn't troll picking at all in Slayers, and she's just really being one heck of a presence in this game. It's quite impressive to see such an orthodox pick being very effective here.
Yeah, and her split push potential right now is insane. Look at these waves that she is clearing with just one tornado. She can almost completely one-shot a siege minion. Looks like Aatrox wants to go really hard onto her. I don't know if he's going to follow up. I think he's just trying to bully her out of lane. Jarvan is now trying to come around and catch the Vayne. Vayne gets caught out, but Duke's out the beautiful EQ with her invisible tumble. She's stuck in the Jarvan ultimate right now. Manages to Duke out the Aatrox ultimate, but she goes down. Great shockwave coming out from Orianna, one of the best ones I've seen. Looks like Janna's going to want to back out here. Going to use her tornado to try and get a bit of damage off. Looks like Vi's going to jump out and everyone's just going to back out. Wild growth from Zyra coming out. She is going really hard. Everyone is really low. Janna is very low right now. What is she going to do here? Is she going to be able to get any damage off? She does have a good shield, remember. She has got a lot of AP and a good amount of stacks on her Majais, but no kills picked up. Oh, she never managed to pick up the Gragas. Vayne got the Gragas, so she's 4-4-10 right now, actually having participated in the most kills on her team alongside the Vi. And the Zyra, actually. Everyone's been on top of their game right now. What can Slugvicious or Imperial do now to stop this Vayne snowballing into that late game?
They just need to tunnel all of their efforts into killing Vayne. Once she's down, the rest of the team has not really any proper team fight potential. Janna has to be able to kite in order to use her abilities properly. She needs to be able to get her Hyling Gale off to a really good wind up before it does a lot of damage and knocks up better. Vi is tanky and she will provide utility in the ways of suppression, knock up, whatnot. Whereas Vayne is the damage as well as Ori. But once Ori's cooldowns are down, it's only Vayne left to do all of the damage, and if she dies, the team crumbles, as you've seen in that Wolves area. Once Vayne died, no one was left to do the damage anymore.
Yeah, and they had to back out, like you saw, because although Janna is very strong in the split push, not exactly the most potent teamfight damage dealer, and Aatrox has that. He has that ability to do extreme damage during teamfights, and with the Jarvan who's gone tanky and Aatrox who's gone extreme damage, Janna's just left there to split push, and I think that's what she's going to have to do to try and force this game out. She's going to have to build up minion waves, but look at the amount of damage Zyra is doing to this Sona. No one is respecting her plants. Look at that. The plants just sat there and did half her HP, and they're still going onto the Gragas.
It won't be long before she has a Liandry's and she'll be doing a lot of damage, even to the tankier people with HP percentage on the Liandry's proc.
Looks like Jarvan and everyone wants to try and back out. They want to try and get damage across onto that Zyra. She's taken half health down by the Ezreal ultimate. I think they were just trying to secure their buff. I'm not sure who got the buff right there. I think it was Vayne.
If you look at the top lane, actually, Janna gets a free tower because they've completely left her alone. There's the push potential right there.
Yeah, and that's what Janna does best. Look at that tornado completely decimate that wave. She's on 165 CS right now. Not too bad for this stage of the game. Not amazing, but more of the utility that she's providing in terms of getting these global golds just by pushing minion waves up.
It's just very good in the ways.
Looks like she's going to get caught out, and there was no ward there for the Aatrox. I think he just knew that she'd gone into that brush. Vi is coming up to back him up. Wow, look at the one Zephyr doing incredible amounts of damage to that Aatrox and just forcing him to back off. You've got to respect how much Janna can slow with her Zephyr and how short cooldown it is when she's got a good amount of cooldown reduction.
Yeah, definitely. And with Janna right now, she has her death cap and she does have Majais. Now she needs to get some kind of well, she should be go Lichbane actually next. I was expecting more cooldown reduction orientated, but she is going to try and go for a Lichbane just to increase the actual team fight damage, which she's lacking. So it should be very interesting to see how this goes.
She does have a good auto attack range, Janna. She's got a 525 auto attack range, which is pretty standard for a ranged mage character. And considering how short cooldowns she can gather when she has blue buff and cooldown reduction, this will really aid her team teamfight potential, and it make her slightly more of a force to be reckoned with, a gale, if you will. So, look, she's going to go to the bot lane, just push out more 7-on-5, but basically I was close enough. I don't know the attack range completely, but Janna's got a fairly decent attack range. It's not anything to be sniffed at. Does look like Vayne is pushing this top lane with the Orianna. They're going to go to that mid lane, and actually they look like they're gearing up for a Baron. There is no wards for Imperial right now, but I don't know if they know anyone was there. No one is pinging it for Imperial, and Janna is teleporting up there. Wow, this could be a free Baron and completely uncontested.
But first Baron of the game goes to Manchester right now, and here we go.
Looks like they're going to try and catch on to the Ezreal. Ezreal gets assault battery. He managed to jump over the wall while he was and you got to remember that Lich Bane does have the ability to do its damage on his turrets, but look like Wild Growth coming down on getting everyone. Stranglethorn's doing a lot of damage right there, and to be honest, that was a good pickup for Manchester.
That was an excellent Zyra ultimate right there, all on the right targets right there, getting the plants across them as well. That just helped them in that team fight, picking up those kills, and now they can actually pressure this turret if they play properly.
Yeah, and Janna just using her monsoon to try and close it. Looks like everyone's getting caught. Great shockwave, just locking up that Aatrox. Probably the main damage threat on the team right now. Vayne managed to shut him down. Gonna head and get this turret. I think they'll probably just back out of this. I'm not sure they're gonna want to go. Vayne is going pretty hard onto this Gragas. Just managed to use his Bladed Ruin King on him, and they're gonna force that Jarvan away. Everyone is really scared of the damage that Vayne can put out right now. It does look like everyone is coming back in. Sona hasn't got her ultimate up though, so she's not that useful right now.
We get to this point where Zyra's actually became a threat now. She's got Zork Boots hunting guys. She's actually doing a lot of damage, and she's ulting right when she needs to. The Wild Growth is hitting everybody in a team fight, if not 4 of them. So with Vayne, she just picked up a Chain Vest. She must be going for GA next, as what I could imagine. Team fights are going to become really scary, and if Vayne gets a GA, it's going to be very, very difficult for Imperial to come back from this.
Yeah, and Janna's probably going to be playing a little bit like a Twisted Fate, looking to pick up that Lich Bane and do those ridiculous auto-attack damages to the towers. So you can obviously proc your Lich Bane on the towers. Maybe she'll be looking to do that instead of using it in team fights, but it will aid to her teammate presence as well. And you look at Gragas' build, he's looking to build into his Zhonya's and other things. Probably not going to aid his damage output. Doing that Gragas is someone who scales really well from rushing like a Rabadon's first, because you really need to get that big burst damage out from Gragas. That's what he's useful for, the poke and the burst damage. You shouldn't really be getting that close in as Gragas, to be fair, except for going for the executes with the kills. Zyra is doing some incredible damage right now. Looks like they're going to flash onto the Sona. Look, they want to take it down with Assault and Battery, and they managed to get the kill right there. Janna just getting forced out with the Explosive Cask. I think they really want this inhibitor.
Yeah, well, right there, as you've seen, lots of damage coming out from Zyra. With Salt and Battery, there was just so much damage put onto Sona that she just couldn't do a thing.
Looks like they're going to take this inhibitor. Zyra's been doing really well this game. Currently my MVP, to be honest. Those ultimates have been on point every time, and she's getting some really good catches. Janna doing a good job as well. They look like they're going to take down this turret for free. She's managed to get a Lich Bane watch from there. Looks like they're going to go onto the Ezreal, and the Wild Growth comes out on top. A great shockwave coming out of the Dragon. She's going to get taken down by the Vayne. Monsoon just to keep the Janna alive. She has not died yet. Another kill coming out onto the Vayne. Good defensive ultimate, but I think it's going to be a bit in vain. And I think they're going to go ahead and take this game. Yeah, it looks like they're going to attempt to finish it. I don't think there's anyone that can stop them really. The main disruption coming out from Aatrox and Jarvan is going to be down for another 20 seconds. I think if they try to, they could probably finish this pretty quickly. Ezreal's just too far behind for the damage that Vayne is putting out. Vayne is really going hard. She could get taken out by the Sona. 2 kills going down. They just need to focus on finishing this this Nexus, but I'm not sure they can. Explosive Cast coming out and picking up the Zyra. Double kill coming out there. Vayne got a little bit too greedy. I think this Gragas is going to go hard, but actually at the end of the day, I think they're just going to back out. Unfortunately, that was just a bit greedy from Vayne.
Yeah, right there. Vayne could have just went back and just finished off the Nexus. Now they're like, well, now we have lots of opportunities, and now we have our base opened. They're going to be forced to stay within their base and wait for the inhibitors to come up. But at this point in the game, the chances of Imperial coming back to this are extremely slim.
Yeah, I don't know if Imperial can come back from this. Two inhibitors down, especially the bottom inhibitor, that was a loss, and the gold difference right now is catastrophic, 13k. Bane has played really well all game though. We've got to give her props. She's done a really good job, especially from that 2v1 and being slightly behind. But I don't think she was expecting the exhaust right there. You've got to remember the exhaust is on quite a short cooldown. I think she just wanted to get the extra kills just to boost her KDA a little bit. I'm not sure she was too worried about losing the game from this point on. Does look like Janna is going up to that top lane just to push it out. Probably can't 1v1 the Aatrox, even though she has now got the Lich Bane. She is now sitting on 10 stacks of Magi. She has not, probably not going to stack it up to the end before we finish, but 10 stacks of Magi is a pretty decent turnout for someone who hasn't died.
Well, right now, we're just waiting to see the split
Looks like-
Citrix, but no, there's maybe one-on-one. Janna's the way to go on to Aatrox right now.
Look at that one auto attack doing about 10% of Aatrox itself. Great. Looks like he's going really aggressive. Janna has got a good shield. Look at the amount that she shields for right now. Vayne has come up to save the day. And Aatrox gets taken out. Looks like he hasn't been performing as well as he had done on Lee Sin. When you take away his comfort champions, doesn't look like he's as potent as he was last game.
And this is unfortunate, but that's maybe another tower down, and I doubt that they can defend from this final push, surely.
Yeah, I think this is just going to be GG for Manchester. Looks like there's a bit of an engaged. Cataclysm hits 3 members of Swag Vicious. Sonar Ultimate comes out, doesn't hit anyone in particular. Vayne is looking to get the last kill, picks up the kill on Sonar. I think they're just going to go and end the game from it. Really well played, and Manchester's just dominating that game from the offset. Swag Vicious did a good job getting to this point, and they will be being featured in our Super 8, but the team comp from Manchester was just, in my opinion, a lot better for the wombo combo you can get from the team fights. Really well played from them, and hopefully we'll try and organise an interview with some of the members from the Manchester team if they're up for it. But for me guys, that's been a great tournament to cast. I've had a really good fun. I'm really tired right now, which is why I'm probably not as on form as I was at the start of the game, and my voice is giving out. But I've had a really good fun, and I hope you guys have had fun watching it. This was just our qualification tournament, guys. We're not doing best of 3s here because we didn't have enough time, and we've got so many teams taking place for one night. When we come towards the main season, there will be best of 3s.
I'd like to say thank you from me, Space, and from a Scoundrel. Thank you for watching the games, and if you like us, go onto our Facebook and go onto our Twitter. We're at the NUEL, so if you want to follow us on Twitter, you go there and just maybe tweet to us, and we'd love to see you next week. And if you are at a university, then please do sign up and try and get your university into this so that we can see you guys in action. I would just like to finish off. I think that's everything we have. I'm going to see about maybe having an interview, but apart from that, that's me and Next Scoundrel done for tonight. If you have any questions, feel free to add me. I will still be in the Twitch chat for the next 20 minutes or so, so feel free to ask any questions about the stream or NUEL if you do have.
Okay guys, cheers. We may have one more game if possible. It will probably be the entry level bracket final, so it will be the 2 that are going into the Super 8 there. I probably won't be casting it because, as you can tell, my voice is about to break. So if we do have people to cast it in the stream, it will let you know. I will just go and check with the admins, and we'll try and sort out interview soon. Cheers guys.